Okay, today we have Dewald from RMIS. How are you, Dewald?
I'm well in yourself, Steve.
Good. Nice to have you here with us. Red meat, I'm a fan. So let's just start there. So can you just tell us a bit about yourself and RMIS, please?
I'm a lawyer by trade.
Okay.
I've been in the industry not that long, since 2017. Been with feedlots and then moved over to RMIS.
Yeah.
RMIS is actually an industry organization. It's an administrative organization that was created, as they call it in law, they would say a creature of statute. So we were created as a body to manage the statutory levy in red meat in South Africa.
Right.
And so for every goat, sheep or cattle slaughtered, we receive an amount, and that is then utilized to the advantage of the industry through services that we deliver, which is categorized under 4 pillars.
Okay, that's interesting. And what unique value does RMIS bring to the field?
I think the biggest, as I mentioned, is as an industry organization, we do not necessarily represent individual parts of the value chain. We don't speak on behalf of farmers or feedlots or abattoirs. But when we talk value chain, we represent the entire value chain. And our main purpose is to ensure that, obviously, if we look at the pillars, maybe that's easier. Our pillars is based on animal and public health, to ensure that we've got healthy animals, healthy meat, red meat, so that you can consume it.
Right.
Transformation, or we call it inclusive growth. We've got an inclusive growth project or pillar. Then we've got market access. So we as a value chain role player or administrator ensure that we've got market access, new entrants, local market or international markets. And then lastly, obviously, one of the biggest pillars at this stage that is very important to us is sustainability and competitiveness. We need to deal, obviously, sustainability in the true sense of it, and then compete against other animal proteins, and also those guys who they cut grass and make it taste like meat. We compete against them, and need to be competitive.
Right. And I think you've touched on this a bit, but can you just expand on what excites you about the future of RMIS?
Well, the opportunities that we have to engage internationally, but also locally, and ensuring that we've got a product that is on a specific standard. So for many years, I think since the disbandment of the meat board, we previously were a one-channel marketing system in South Africa, as many countries are, and we've now diversified and actually throw this open to a free market system. And what we currently can do is actually, it's a blank canvas. I mean, what we can do. And for so long, we've been lying and waiting. We're really a sleeping giant, and we're getting ready and we're standing up.
Now, that's very interesting, and I just want to move to the next slot now, where we talk, your partnership with Gendac. I mean, you've worked with Gendac. You know that they, specialize in creating digital IP and partners very thoughtfully with people who are digital leaders. Can you just give us some highlights, in your journey that you can bring forth, that journey of creating digital IP? What are the highlights that you have for us?
I think the first from the outset, when we started working with Gendac, they were very much interested in what we do. I could sense from the beginning that there's a real heartfelt or an earnest longing to understand what we do and how we do it, and specifically why we do it. Unlike other organizations that sometimes comes in and tell you must do it in steps 1, 2, and 3. They listened to us, and even we had a meeting again during the day this morning to say that, how do you see this fit in, and they make it work. So that's the first thing. The fact is that we've been listened to. And I think everybody wants to be listened to. So from the outset, that's been wonderful. The second thing is, once we given them the problem statement, what they came back with actually went over and beyond what we anticipated we would receive. So in this journey, and a few months down the line, the team of guys that work on our project actually started coming up with solutions without us even have to prompt them. They started to propose things that we actually were anticipating only getting to the near or to the end of our project. And they're now starting to understand what we want to achieve at the end, and they're implementing that already. So that's massive. I think those two things stand out to me head about water.
I think it's very important if you are the subject matter expert in your field that you have to be listened to, instead of somebody coming in and thinking that they're all the solutions. Now, obviously, there has to be challenges. Can you highlight any challenges in that journey that you can?
I think there's a few challenges. There are a few challenges. The biggest ones is to us outside is selling what we do, and our project is all around traceability.
Yeah.
We've got some external concerns, if I might call it that. Back to, I think, where Gendac comes in and assisted a lot is listening. We took them to 2 or 3 of our meetings to understand the people that we work with, and the people that needs to adopt the change that we're proposing through the system.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest challenges that we have, is we work in a environment where people are not necessarily technologically savvy, or they, I mean, it's farmers. They do not necessarily understand technology. They don't have to understand technology. But what we're utilizing currently is something that will blow up their world. And I think the biggest concern that we have is, or issues, to differentiate between what do we share with them and what do we not share with them, but have it in the background so that we can still do what we want to do without putting on the table. Because we saw the more information we put on the table, it actually becomes too much for them.
Yeah.
And the possibilities that we can generate, we get very excited in the office, but on their end, they need to be very low key. And the question comes back to them is, how do I make money of this?
I mean, and tech has to serve the people and not people serving tech.
Correct.
So we need to, in many ways, remove tech from, our dealings. Can you just talk to us about how, this partnership keeps you focused on mission critical stuff, your partnership with Gendac?
Regular meetings.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things. We don't hear about them or of them in week 1, and then 6 months later so it's regular intervals, regular meetings. The buy-in from even directorship, I mean, from top level right through, right down. We're becoming friends.
Yes.
I think it's more than just doing a project. So that is actually one of the biggest positives I get out of it.
Yeah.
And as I said, the fact that the guys working on the specific platform or the system, or what do you want to call it, our solution, is, it seems like they are involved, emotionally evolved already, which makes it very easy. And that actually ensures that we are abreast of everything that happens, and that gives a lot of comfort.
Now, in the next slot, and then also thanks for your time, staying with us on this time. I just want to talk now on Gendac's way of work, right? So, I mean, that Gendac is truly relationship driven, and unequivocally rebellious people and teamwork alike. What are your impressions of engaging with Gendac's leadership team? I'm very happy. Now, happy is quite a general, but I think the word, in the sense that there was engagement. There's already an immediate understanding of what we do. Yeah. I think red meat, the fact that it's red meat makes it a lot easier. Like I said, from top management down, everybody just engaged immediately and bought into what we want to achieve. Yeah. You mentioned earlier on that there's a lot of regular, meeting and collaboration. Can you just talk to us about the inter-team collaboration between the team at Gendac and your team, how well that is going and how it helps with everything? I think the first sign that teams are working well is when they start to tease each other. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of teasing. I've seen a lot of welcoming new guys into the team. The team from Gendac's side that changed a little bit over time. Yeah. New guys being introduced, and even the guys that we saw coming in. It was very, very good, and I think they are working very, very well together. They're starting to understand each other and understand what we want to achieve. Right. Now, the journey hasn't been long, but is there any highlights, things that pop in your mind in terms of how this whole thing has unraveled? I think the biggest highlight to me was the first time we saw something on screen, and it actually totally encapsulated what we dreamed our geolocation numbers, our GLNs, should do. Yeah. That was a aha moment to say, these guys understood
the project.
Like a penny dropped.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was amazing. The fact that we could translate all of this and I mean stacks of paperwork at Gendac's back end.
Yeah.
Most of it I didn't understand, but when we saw it on the screen, and that was a real feel-good moment. And when the board of RMIS saw it, and they all said, "This is good."
Right. And I mean, I think this is going to be my final question to you. And again, thanks for your time. But do you have any last minute advice to anybody in your field, on how to go about and then, this journey of digital transformation and digital leadership?
I've done other digital transformation in the past from other positions, but I can tell you, Gendac has made this easy. I've got a real thankfulness and appreciation for the fact that this doesn't feel like writing a traceability platform. This actually feels like a normal project running, and there's regular intervals and there's regular feedback, and the weight is diminished by the fact that we have trust in Gendac.
Yeah.
And that's really, I mean, I hear so many horror stories of guys who start development on projects and then halfway needs to either turn around or throw whatever they've done in the bin.
Yeah.
The way that Gendac does it, and previously or earlier we referred to the IP,
Yes.
the fact that it remains ours and it's done by Gendac, amazing. And I think in our industry, working with farmers, that stands out, yes, like a pole above water. It's amazing.
And technology projects are notorious for, high failure rates.
Yes.
So it's always good to have a, good story to tell, sooner rather than later,
Later.
I suppose. It's a good place to stop. Thanks, Dewald, for your time.
Thank you, Tom.
Cool.